Brandon Benefield, Gerard Bonner, and Diana Michelle.
Well, what's going on, everybody? It's that time of the week. It's Friday. You know what that means. We're here for the SHW podcast. SHW, this is our wrestling. I'm B-Double Brandon Benefield, alongside GB Gerard Bonner and the always lovely Diana Michelle. And guys, I got to tell you, it's been a weird week coming off of the crazy, wild events of last week. I always look forward to getting together with you guys. I always look forward to recording this episode of the podcast. But here's the thing. I've almost been dreading it a little bit just because I don't want to relive the crazy events that took place last Friday at SHW41. It was insane, to say the least. We're going to get into it here in just a bit. But how are you guys holding up?
I'm in, man. I'm hanging. I'm breathing. I'm alive. I'm not damaged. I'm not hurt. I can't say that for everybody in management for Southern Honor, but let's unpack it.
Yeah, look, I'm good. I mean, we're here. We're fairly safe. We got out sort of unscathed, and yeah. The only thing I'll say to kick things off is it seems like every month it's the wildest or craziest show we've ever had, and I didn't know what could top the last one, but somebody said, "Hold my fork." So there we go.
That's what they said.
Hold my fork, hold my beer.
I
don't know. I tell you what, so
hold my gear, like, you know, all kinds of possibilities here.
As is always the case, the week following one of our big shows, we do recap the show. So that is still our plan here tonight, to recap SHW41. If you have not heard yet, go on our social media, catch up, figure out what went down. It was probably, I'll venture to say, this was the most shocking moment in SHW history, the ending of SHW41, because I don't think anybody saw this coming except for the people that were directly involved in what happened. But anyways, let's just start at the top. We'll get to all the craziness as we go. But this was a show going into it where we at first knew that there was going to be at least 3 Rumblejack qualifier matches. It turns out we ended up having 5 Rumblejack qualifier matches as the night went on. But a match that involved a gentleman that was already qualified started the show, and that being Nagicism, taking on the newly solo and a new attitude, a new look of Chip Day. So Chip Day and Nagicism starting this thing out. And I tell you what, they got the show started on fire, man, because what a great match this was.
Oh yeah. It was a hot match, which we expected that. I mean, Chip Day, solo or tag team, he's going to be a badass. He is. And Naja, good Lord, we talked about him multiple times on the show and how good he is and what he brings to the table. So them colliding, it was everything you'd want it to be and more.
I totally agree. I mean, those two guys on their own are amazing competitors. And again, and I mentioned this on commentary, now that Chip has a chip on his shoulder, it makes him even more dangerous. And I don't know that we needed Chip Day more dangerous than he already was. So that made for an intriguing match. But here's the thing. Nagicism loves danger. Yeah. Like, he was not intimidated. He continued to push forward in this match, and it really was an even match, as we thought it would be, of course, until the end. So, Chip Day.
Yeah. Naja, you're right. Naja, Chip was working on his foot or his ankle, and it looked like he was going to be in trouble there, but it was almost like you said, GB, that just he almost thrived off of it. It almost fired him up even more, and he really amped up the offense, even with the injured leg there. But, It was quite a match. It definitely started the crowd out hot, and was a good way to kick off the show. But and then also at the end of the match, Chip definitely had some intense things to say. He did not hold back. Let's just say that. But apparently blaming the fans. Calling out the fans for what he did to Kyle. Blaming the fans for that. So.
How is the fans' fault for what he did to Kyle? How is? I don't understand that. I didn't get it. Now, I mean, we all got at the end of that match. We all got. I got.
Yeah. But I mean, it's interesting, and I think his mindset, and I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here, is, you know, you could argue that the whole reason that Chip and Kyle lost the tag team championships is because they ended up coming in, filling in for a team that was supposed to be there, that had been gone for a year, and when they came back, SHW immediately embraced them. And so, you know, I think he might have still been carrying that from the top of the year, you know, and obviously then he got injured. Then they had to come cover for him. They lost the champion. I think it was a buildup, you know, and obviously there are many ways to kind of work out your frustrations. In this case, it just kind of boiled over. He didn't feel like having conversations. He went in. And so, you know, the crazy part is we're now seeing layers to Chip Day that we didn't know, like the chicanery he pulled. We all felt sorry for him, thinking his ankle was broken again. And I mean,
Zach to the back for help because nobody was coming.
Yeah, it was.
Turn around and he's fine and he got me.
Yeah, he got me too.
He got me.
And I said it on commentary, like we should have known, you know, after what he did the month before. But the thing is, he got all of us, you know, including Nadja was very hesitant because at one point, you know, Chip was trying to get the referee and Nadja to help him out of the ring.
Right.
And Nadja, as he should have been, was very hesitant. But
even Nadja was calling for the X. I mean, he got too.
Right. Yeah. So he got us all, but then it happened, and then I thought, of course, we should have known, and then you saw the result. But that does not, you know, let's not look past the fact that Nadjism is still in the Rumblejack.
Yes.
His qualifying, you know, he qualified the month before, and so that was not on the line. So he still is in the Rumblejack, although now Chip Day, we'll see if he ends up in the Rumblejack as well. But he got a little more momentum for himself rather than Nadja going into August. But moving down the card here, this next matchup was one that I won't say I was necessarily looking forward to, but it definitely intrigued me because we wondered what was going to happen when two tag team partners were forced to face each other, that being Sauronaro and Dylan James. And, of course, Brooklyn had scheduled that match the month before, you know, just to get under Dylan's skin, going to make him face his own tag team partner. Now, we'll get to what ended up happening at the end of the show, but at this point in the show, you know, you're kind of feeling for both guys. Like, well, what's going to happen? What ended up happening was a little finger poke of doom action, kind of, where Sal just laid down. Dylan got the quick pin. Brooklyn, of course, comes out, says, no, that's not how it's going down. In fact, now this is a Rumblejack qualifying match, and you have a special guest referee 2 seconds later after a very quick wardrobe change, perhaps her fastest wardrobe change of all time. She comes out wearing a referee shirt and is the special guest ref, forcing them to have to actually fight because now a shot at the Rumblejack is on the line. And and it was actually a pretty good matchup, but it was insane because Brooklyn, we weren't sure what kind of mind game she was trying to play because she wasn't making a count. Every time there was a pinfall, she would go to count. There would be very slow count. She'd pretend to break a nail or whatever the case may be. And it was just a wild, one of the most bizarre matches I think I've ever called.
It was exactly what I thought it would be.
Oh, okay. All right.
Exactly. I wasn't sure that she was going to be the guest referee. I knew she had referee experience, but that just put the little cherry on top for her. She was able to make them do pretty much what she wanted them to do. She would not count them out, would not do the pinfall because she wanted them to fight more. She wanted them to be serious about it. They got frustrated. They took their frustrations out on each other because of it. Screaming at her did nothing for them because she just made it worse for them. So it was exactly what I expected out of Brooklyn. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think I'm still learning about Brooklyn, and the things that I'm learning, again, layer on layer on layer. And, you know, just when you thought, okay, wow, that was really twisted what she thought about it in terms of, you know, crazy things in terms of putting people in weird matches, et cetera, et cetera. Now she decides, okay. And it's funny, we'd even talked in the pre-show, like, would she possibly make this some sort of weird hardcore match? I never imagined she'd make herself the referee.
Yeah.
And in so doing, you know, it was wild. I mean, what do you do when you try to pin your opponent and the referee doesn't count?
You get frustrated.
get frustrated.
And you can't hit the referee or you'll be disqualified.
Exactly.
So you have to take it out on your opponent, which is your partner.
She
It's
played
brilliant.
that like a fiddle. It was absolutely brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
And I think we even said on commentary, I said, we'll be here all night at this rate because she just wasn't counting. I didn't know what was going to happen.
And Make you think if somebody were to take off out of the ring, would she do the 10 count or would she demand they come back? I mean,
I don't know.
What would have happened then? I mean, that could have been something.
But then, GB, you brought up the point during the match that it was almost as if she was forcing Dylan to injure his partner because every time he'd give him the Sunny driver, she was like, no, do it again, or I'm not going to count, you know? And and then part of that, now, again, we'll get to what happened later in the show, but part of me wonders if all of that was pre-planned or if during the match somewhere in Dylan's mind, something snapped that made him do what he did later in the show. I don't know, because again, like I said on commentary that night, what happened later in the show wasn't necessarily Dylan James, it was Sunny Days. And so, you know, it's weird trying to talk to Dylan, and when he's got those two sides to him, and you just don't want to get inside the head of Dylan James, Sunny Days, whatever you want to call it, him, whatever. It's anyways. But Sal ended up winning that match after let's see, who gave the low blow? Was I guess help me out here, Brooklyn?
It was Brooklyn who gave the low blow.
Get the low blow to Dylan, and that caused Sal to get the pin. And then all of a sudden, there was a fast count.
Yeah, it was it
wasn't just any count; it was a, quick.
Just
so that was bizarre. So then all of a sudden, what'd she tell Dylan? She said, "Just do what I say, and it'll all be over.
All this will be over.
You know what you have to do to make it stop."
Yeah, and then all of a sudden she said, "And by the way, Sal, you're in the Rumble Jack." So Sal now qualified for the Rumble Jack. We know that for a fact. But before we get to the chaos that happened at the end, we still got the rest of the matches to get through. The next one was our SHW Tag Team Championship matchup, which we were very much looking forward to because you had the reigning 2021 Tag Team of the Year in Exotic Youth taking on who I think should have been the Tag Team of the Year, and they are the current SHW Tag Team Champs All-Star Special. So we had the combination this time of Bryce Cannon, Cornelius Pepperbottom, and, of course, taking on Huck and Hansen. Great matchup, I thought, and I think Exotic Youth definitely showed why they belong in that picture of the top teams in Georgia. So, of course, All-Star retained the titles, but it was a great night, great match, and I will tell you, I was very excited and got a big kick out of Huck coming out in the cowboy hat to Achy Breaky Heart. That was something else.
Look, y'all know I have a thing. Me and Bryce have a tip.
I never noticed. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's not a secret. I think everybody in Georgia realizes that we do. I don't really know why or how it started, but
he started, I think.
Set aside, I'm going to give them their roses. They know what they're doing in the ring. Their coordination, their teamwork, their I guess the way they work together, the way they know where the other one is going to be and what they're going to be doing, it's great. I mean, they've been working at it. They're perfecting their craft. They're a great tag team, no matter what combination you put of Exotic Youth in the ring. They were showing that they were very familiar with Huck and Hansen. They knew what was coming. They knew what to expect. I mean, it's no secret that they are not, they know who they are. They know what's going on with them. But Powerhouse, Huck, ooh, woo, and Hansen, ooh, woo, I mean, there was no way they were going to drop those titles to Exotic Youth.
Was it?
There was no way. So, ended up like I thought.
Diana's thought process of Exotic Youth reminds me of way back in the day when Jesse the Body Ventura would commentate on anything surrounding Hulk Hogan. He'd call him Puke Hogan. It's just, it just takes you back there. It's wonderful. This match was really, really intriguing to me. Like we mentioned, the 2021 Tag Team of the Year against who we thought should have been the 2021 Tag Team of the Year, but who happens to be the SHW Tag Champions. A phenomenal match. I think, again, the team of Pepperbottom and Bryce Cannon is not the normal pairing that people are accustomed to. but they got together and their chemistry was so fantastic that it was highly conceivable that they could have walked out with the SHW Tag Team Championships. But it wasn't to be. A great match, a great showing for Huck and Hansen. And I'll tell you, this match is significant because I think we've seen both teams now kind of at the best of who they are, you know, and so that makes, you know, the conversation about Huck and Hansen as Tag Team of the Year for 2022 a very real conversation that needs to be considered. A phenomenal match. And I just love literally having had the opportunity to watch All-Star Special from their very start to right now. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
I also heard, by the way, that I've been given an open invitation by Huck to the next Canton Youth Choir rehearsal. So I'm looking forward to that invite.
We're going to let you direct it. I know you have experience in that.
Hey, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
Awesome.
But apparently at some point it won't be anytime soon.
So you know what? I was going to wait towards the end of the show to even bring this up. But, you know, while we're talking about it, it has been announced already, and it was announced at the previous show, but the graphic went up this week as well. The tag title match for next month. It's going to be Happy Madness against All-Star Special. And Brooklyn laid it out there that Huck and Hansen will not be able to get any entrance music. So here's what I'm thinking, and I'm going to put it out here so the SHW faithful can hear this. What if the SHW faithful, they come up with a song ahead of time and do a little a cappella, they just sing them to the ring, and GB, you could do a little choir practice ahead of time to get everybody ready.
That could work.
I mean, it happened with Jericho, right?
It
that
sure
was
did.
Beautiful.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. So SHW faithful, if you're watching this, start thinking about it. You could get on the SHW fan page.
Yeah.
Put your comments
Pick a
in
song.
there.
Let's all agree on something.
Yes.
Because
like
you know
that.
that's the thing. And I know I'm going to get in trouble for this because it's the new boss lady that came up with this stipulation. But you know what? I've been putting my foot in my mouth for the last 3 months at this point. So it is what it is. But I'm just saying, you can't have All-Star Special come to the ring in complete silence. It just can't happen.
No, the people won't allow it. She can't shut the people down. She can't.
There you go.
No.
There you go. What are you going to do? Kick everybody out of the building? Come on.
No, don't tempt her.
Come on.
Don't tempt her.
Well, anyways, I was going to bring that up at the end, but since you brought up the youth choir, and I did see where Huck put that on Facebook about.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens there. But great match. All-Star Special did retain the titles, and of course they came into play a little bit later in the show, and we'll get to that. But moving down the card, we'll get to this next match, the matchup that we dubbed Priest versus Priest, because you had Adam Priest taking on the Priest of Punishment, Judas. This, going into the show, we knew was a Rumblejack qualifier match. So, of course, that was a big stipulation there, a big opportunity on the line. And we, on the pre-show and in the weeks leading up, we talked about the size differential. We knew it was going to be a big deal, going to come into play probably. But I will tell you what, Adam Priest is like a little pit bull, man. He is just – he's got all the tools to be a huge star in this business. And – what a showing he put on. I think he shocked Judas. I'm not sure all the fans were shocked. The fans that know him probably weren't that shocked. I've seen him a couple times, but even I was a little like, whoa, he's bringing it. I mean, he would get Judas in the corner, and he's laying in those chops, and I don't think Judas knew what was hitting him at first. Like, what is this guy doing? Like, I don't think he was expecting it, but I thought Priest put up a heck of a fight against a much larger opponent for sure.
He was taking everything Judas was dishing out.
Yeah.
And yet he was wincing a little bit, but he was coming right back and bringing the fight. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I don't think Judas was expecting that at all from Adam Priest because, you know, he is this big, monstrous looking, scary guy. And, you know, Adam's coming out, he's all confident. He's just like, whatever, you're a big dude. Whatever, you know, I'm not worried about you. And brought the fight. It was really, I can't say toe-to-toe because, I mean, how do you get toe-to-toe? But
well, they were toe-to-toe, but they weren't eyeball to eyeball.
But it was more like nose to chest or whatever. But
right.
Anyway, it was a good fight. I have nothing negative to say about that. I mean, I want to see Adam again.
No. By the way, sorry, GB. We'll get to your thoughts here in a second. But before we went live here, Diana, you mentioned that something happened with Judas and you in the ring that I didn't know about it till just now.
Yeah, he came in, took off his big old coat and everything and brought me that steel rod, which I examined, by the way, because he told me this stays with you, hands it to me. And if it doesn't stay with you, I'll break your neck or something like that. He threatened
Wow.
to break my neck. So,
Mm.
yes, he has come at you guys and everything. And I was always standing, hadn't messed with me. Well, I got my just desserts on that one. And
Wow.
going back to the steel rod, that thing has a spike on one end.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost something like you would burr a hose in a piece of wood with, like, drill a hole. Man. And he's stuck in Cyrus's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can't believe. So we saw him hand you but I did not know that he said that to you. And now not that I'm going to go get in his face or anything, but I am a little frustrated about it. I can't believe he would say that to you.
I mean, why wouldn't he? I mean, he doesn't care. He's a priest of punishment. He doesn't care. But
yeah, I guess.
I definitely got a good look into those eyes, and they're dark.
Oof.
They are.
They're dark. They're dark. And I held on to it. Zach wanted to hold it, and I said, nah, I value my neck. You ain't holding it. It's going to be right here.
Yeah. Well, after he came to you, then he came to us, and he came to me threatening again with the spike, telling me, that I needed to tell the people what he did with that spike. And
as if we hadn't been reminding everybody throughout the whole match.
Correct.
Here's the thing. And if he comes after me, fine. But I just want to tell you, Judas, you come over and you tell us, or you tell GB more specifically, to say these certain things. We know how to do our job. We've already been saying these things.
Do you have a death wish?
I'm just saying.
Are you kidding me?
In the corner behind that table, but he's going to come to you.
He will reach over the table and grab you.
I just don't appreciate him questioning us not doing our job. We know what we're doing.
He can question me all he wants as long as it allows me to stay safe.
All right.
But with that said, I hope there's no offense taken, because there's none meant by this. I am going to rename Adam Priest Adele.
Okay.
Because Adam Priest set fire to the rain in this match against Judas. Wow. It was amazing to watch him literally I've never seen anybody go forward against Judas. Everybody goes backwards. Everybody runs. But he went forward and he just chopped him down. It was incredible to watch. It was really incredible. And so I hope, now that we know that Judas is in the Rumble, Jack, I hope there's a way to get Adam Priest in there too, because I think Adam Priest is somebody that deserves to be in the title picture. I mean, he's incredible. It's amazing to see what he's done. But from here on in some places we call him, Adam the Stallion, but here he is Adele.
All right. He's kind of like what we would always say about Carly Bravo early on, when he was just coming in and filling in at the time, where we said, man, I would love to see this guy on the roster full time, see him every month. And Adam Priest is one of those guys, in our opinion, my opinion for sure, that definitely I would love to see coming back. He's been there, 3 times at this point, I think?
Yes.
I would love it. I would love it if he would be in the Rumble, Jack, and then just continue on a regular basis. So we'll see. But, man, what a match that was. But moving down the card, GB, you nailed this when we talked about it on commentary. And, of course, you've probably seen the reports that came out after the show, and they said the same thing. This was a match where it was like an older version of a guy facing the younger version of himself, where you had Gunnar Miller taking on the brand new Dave Stage, who just debuted in December of 2021 and made his first appearance this past week in SHW. Going against Gunnar Miller. Now, Dave Stage was handpicked by Brooklyn, because Brooklyn has this, much like we thought with Dylan as well, trying to take out Gunnar Miller, and brought in Dave Stage, who's got the look, got the talent, trained by ROH champion Jonathan Gresham. I mean, just has that pedigree. And boy, he gave Gunnar a fight. I'm not sure if Gunnar knew him that well or knew what he was getting into, but like you said, I think when he got in the ring, it was like he was looking in a mirror almost. Yeah, what a match.
It reminds me a good bit of, when you're on the football field and you have your pads on, you're at training or something, and you're made to go up against each other, right? That's what I kept thinking about, because it's what it looked like to Gunnar's a football player, and I don't know if Dave Stage played football, but they looked like they were just colliding and bouncing off each other and colliding and bouncing off each other. And it was very evenly matched as far as strength. Now, Dave Stage is good. His showing was good. I think he's gonna have a pretty good future coming up. I think he's gonna be well-rounded and well-known soon, if he's not already.
Yeah.
Gunner, he has something to prove. He's not gonna let this new guy come in here, this rookie come in here and show him up. So, of course, he took him to school, and that was great. It was great, but I would like to see more of both of them against each other. I'd like to see it happen.
And I forgot to mention, this was also a Rumblejack qualifier.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's right. So, definitely a big moment for Gunnar Miller, but an equally big moment, I think, for Dave Stage as well. One of the things that, and I hope people remember this, we talk about this a lot so that it stays in your memory. But the beautiful thing about SHW is you are watching the stars of today and the stars of tomorrow. You are watching the people that they will be talking about nationally and internationally. Need we remind you of who Mr. Money in the Bank is? He is a member of the SHW alumnus, the current NXT UK Tag Team Champion. Just last year was a regular part of Southern Honor Wrestling. I think you've got it. This is why we pay so much attention and we keep our eyes out for who's crushing it and who is en route. And I think Dave Stage is one of those people that you give him a year and a half, 2 years tops, he's going to be a problem for someone. A big problem. And it's amazing. This is what I love about Southern Honor, because you look at our roster at any given point in time, you're going to see established stars and you're going to see people who are going to be on a national and international platform. And that is a big deal. I like being able to say to varying folks in the internet community, oh, by the way, they were in SHW. Oh, by the way, exactly. I love saying that, and I think we're going to be able to say that about Dave Stage. We'll get to some other folks that we'll be saying that about as well. So this is why it makes so much sense for you to make sure that on the first Fridays you are at the Action Building, because you want to see these things live. There's nothing like watching these people, go on to other spaces and you go, holy cow, AC Mack.
I remember when.
Exactly. You know what I mean? AC Mack, the IWTV World Champion. That's our guy. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So we get to see all of these types of things. I think Dave Stage is one of those guys.
Whew. Got a bright future ahead of him, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And of course, Gunnar did win that match. Gunnar is going to the Rumblejack. And speaking of Rumblejack qualifier matches, we had an impromptu matchup, which I did find out was made official, and it was a Rumblejack qualifier. Now, going into the night, it was supposed to be Jordan Kingsley taking on Joe Black of Contra, and we found out early in the night that Brooklyn had given Joe the night off, so it looked like Jordan Kingsley would then have the night off as well, and we weren't sure what was going to happen. But then all of a sudden, we hear Bryce Cannon's music again, and we're thinking, we already had to put up with this fool one time. Like, what in the world is he coming back out here for? And so he comes out in Bryce Cannon fashion, grabs a microphone. He's been seeing all these.
Called me a hussy.
Which
he sure did.
Completely ridiculous. Has no manners.
None.
Anyways, the kid's parents need a talking to, because they didn't.
I'm going to talk to his father.
Didn't raise him right, but but. He comes out. I guess he'd been seeing all the Rumblejack qualifying matches and got it in his mind that, you know what, I deserve a qualifier match. So he put out an open challenge, and Kingsley, who all of a sudden had the night off because Joe Black had the night off, Kingsley comes out to the delight of the whole crowd, and within like 5 seconds, hit him with that kick, pinned him 1, 2, 3, shut him up real fast. Well, I say shut him up. But actually, it just made him have the biggest hissy fit, or whatever you want to call it. He started fussing and like a little crybaby in the ring and just going crazy. And, but hey, you know what? I got a big grin out of it. I was fine with it. So Jordan Kingsley now qualified for the Rumblejack.
Yes.
And I'm sure Diana was very pleased.
I was so pleased. It just gave me such joy to stand there and watch him throw a fit like he did when his dad froze his trust fund. That was great. That was great. That made my whole entire night. And then to be able to say, bye. That was great. I mean,
That's nice.
there was nothing else he can say, and he's talking his trash this week. Oh my God, it's gonna come a day. But either way, go Jordan. I'm proud of you, man. Didn't even break a sweat. Maybe it'll be a while before we see Bryce and his crew back at Southern Honor. God bless us all. But another qualifier. I'm not disappointed.
You know, congratulations, of course, to Jordan Kingsley. What a way to bounce back after his first loss of the year at the last SHW event, SHW40, against Carly Bravo. Comes back, bounces back in a big way with a win and an entry into the Rumble Jack. And on the other side of things, I think Bryce Cannon must have been listening to some Busta Rhymes in the back talking about give me some mo, boom, 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 give me some mo, because clearly he wanted another beating. And he got one thanks to Jordan Kingsley. So, yeah, shout out. And too bad, so sad, Bryce Cannon. Goodbye.
Well, the Rumble Jack qualifier matches continued to roll on as we had one more that before the night was over, and it was Carly Bravo, who we talked about a little earlier. Carly Bravo, going into this night, had a mystery opponent. None of us knew. We tried all of our sources throughout the month leading up to the show.
I asked him, told you have to wait.
Yeah. I mean, nobody was telling us anything, and all of a sudden, some very familiar music hit, and our jaws just dropped because we couldn't believe that he was returning. We hadn't seen him in months and months and months. It was the one and only Prince of Petty, Ashton Starr, making his return. And, oh, boy, what a match it was. And how excited. The roof almost came off the place with everybody with welcome back chants and just going crazy for the return of the Prince of Petty.
It was great to see Ashton back in the action building. It was great to see him back in the ring of SHW. It was great for him to compete against Carly Bravo, who is a shining star, as you guys are saying, and he was not happy. Carly was not happy about that. He did not enjoy the fact that Ashton was coming out to be his surprise opponent. Why didn't Brooklyn tell him that?
Here's what I'm curious about, and we'll get to this here in a little bit when we talk about what happened after the main event. I'm curious, and I'll get y'all's take on it too. Was this kind of a test for Brooklyn, or from Brooklyn to Carly, to see what he could do? And then if he passed the test, then we saw what happened at the end of the night? I don't know. Because going into it, we all said, like, why is he having a mystery opponent? Why is he even having to try to qualify? Because I feel like he's earned his way already, having beaten David Ali, and stuff like that. So I don't know. To me, looking back on it after the night was over, I wondered, was this a way to test Bravo from Contra's,
right?
view, and then they'll go, okay, he's worthy. He beat Ashton Starr. We'll bring him in. So I don't know, because obviously we'll get to that here in a little bit. But y'all tell me y'all's thoughts. GB, what did you think of this matchup?
It was a great match for one. Again, anytime you get two people who have spent as much time together as Bravo and Ashton Starr have, it makes for an interesting space. And one of the things we talked about on commentary was, Carly is used to being the surprise opponent. Right. So would he be prepared for having a surprise opponent? The problem is you can prepare for everybody but the people you know best. And I don't think he ever imagined in a million years that Ashton Starr would walk through that curtain. And so when he did, there was obvious shock on his face. And it's really hard to kind of put an impromptu plan together when you're fighting someone that was once your brother in arms. And he even tried to embrace him. And Ashton was like, talk to the hand. So, it got to be very, very interesting. But here's what's more interesting. Now the resume of Carly Bravo doesn't just say, I beat two former members of Overkill. It says, I beat two former SHW champions. That's a game changer. And when you look at an Ashton Starr is only one of two that can actually say they held the SHW Championship and the SHW Tag Team Championship. So that's rarefied air. Couple that with David Ali having the longest reign as an SHW champion. Carly Bravo has accomplished an awful lot in the last 3 months. An awful lot.
Yeah.
And so you've got to now sit back when you're talking about, now he's qualified for the Rumble Jack. There's a lot of folks who would love to have the resume that Carly Bravo has right now. And he's done this in under 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The future is extremely bright, and it might not be long before Mr. Bravo has some gold around his waist.
Well, he's in the Rumble Jack after winning that matchup. So the next step there, win the Rumble Jack, get your title shot. And there you go. Now, here's what's interesting. If Cruel, who has the title currently, is still the champion at that point, and Carly wins, and Carly has to face Cruel, well, Carly, at the end of the night, appeared to be part of that group. I don't know. It's gonna get real interesting.
Let's also think about this. Like, I don't know if, remember, Brooklyn is making the rules now. So she could easily change the rules about what happens with the Rumble Jack. But the other thing is, if Carly Bravo wins the Rumble Jack, quite frankly, I think however you look at it, things still stay in Contra. They're all happy.
True.
I don't think so. If it stays in Contra, I don't think Brooklyn's going to be happy without Cruel having the title. What would be the point of doing everything she's doing if somebody else, we can easily walk away from Contra with the gold, just walk away and do their own thing. But with Cruel under her control, and he's under her control, if he doesn't have the title, what does she have?
So many different ways that this could go, and we'll find out in the coming months here. But let's get to the main event. Of course, we've already kind of spoiled it for you, but if you've probably already seen all the results online anyway. But let's get to what happened in the title match, and more specifically what happened after the title match, which changed the face of Southern Honor Wrestling as we know it, as if it hadn't been changed enough already up to this point. The unthinkable happened. But going into the match, it was Owen Knight, the former champion, finally getting his rematch at the title that I feel like he unjustly lost to the Heathen Cruel a couple of months ago. So we get this title match. It's a fairly even matchup for the most part. There's a point where the ref gets taken out. Another ref comes in. Brooklyn comes in. Well, she's still wearing the ref shirt she had on earlier. It got real screwy there towards the end. Needless to say, Cruel retained the title. And that's when, all hell broke loose. And I'll let you guys give your thoughts on kind of the match, and then we'll talk about what happened after the match. But for a title match, it had all the buildup we wanted. It had the makings of a great main event match, and I thought it was good up until the end. But what'd you guys think?
Yeah, Owen held his own. We all knew he would. He wants his title back. He wanted it back. But honestly, sitting here trying to remember anything about the match after what happened after the match, I'm having trouble. Recalling.
Understandably so.
I'm having trouble. Yeah. It's like it's washed away once again by the controversy and the shocking events that happened after the match. I mean, God bless Owen. God bless him, Jesus Lord. But I don't remember what happened after. It was just, it's crazy. Yeah, I'm in shock still.
Yeah, it was certainly shocking. Owen put up an amazing fight, and one of the things that I was so intrigued by was it was eerie seeing Cruel there by himself.
Right. I actually got to announce both of them in Brooklyn. I didn't know what was going on.
It was so odd. Usually Brooklyn would be there, Joe would have been there, but Joe got the night off. So it was interesting. And so it seemed like it would be a fair fight, one-on-one. And in a fair fight, obviously the former champion Owen Knight held his own and was extremely close to winning this match. In fact, he had Cruel pinned when the ref got knocked out, and all of a sudden, now we see Brooklyn and all sorts of chicanery begins to happen, and Cruel ends up retaining the championship in just the craziest of ways. And again, Owen does not get a fair fight, and then it got crazy.
And then, indeed, Carly Bravo makes his way to the ring, and not just Carly Bravo, but Carly Bravo and the Contra flag. makes their way to the ring, and he gets in, and then Owen's outnumbered. He's getting beat down. You had Gunnar Miller come in, try to make the save, but still the numbers game was too much. Then you have All-Star Special make their way out, and you think, okay.
With Happy Madness.
Well, before, but
they came out together.
No, before Happy Madness, it was All-Star Special, and you're thinking, oh, good, the Cavalry's arrived. Lights go out. Come back on. Oh, there's Happy Madness.
Right there.
You think they're aligned with All-Star Special, and you think all is well. All right. SHW is overpowering Contra / Southern Dishonor, whatever you want to call them. And then the unthinkable happened, and that's when Happy Madness attacked All-Star Special from behind. And then we slowly started to realize what was taking place in front of us, which was the fact that not only Carly Bravo, but also Sunny Days. Keep in mind, Sunny Days, not necessarily Dylan James. Sunny Days and Sauronaro, the team of Happy Madness, along with Carly Bravo, as I said, seemed to align themselves with Contra. And it was the most insane thing ever. So you have the Southern Honor guys getting beaten down by the group made up of Contra, Happy Madness, and Carly Bravo. And it was quite a turn of events that the whole crowd was just stunned to see. And not only that, then they make their way back up to the stage, and Gary comes out, gets in the face of Sunny Days. Sauronaro hits a low blow. Sunny Days hits the headbutt to the chest. They take out Gary Lamb. The show ends with the Contra unit on stage, holding up that Contra flag. It was insane. I'm still baffled as to what in the world went down. Of course, Sonny would go on, and you saw his Facebook post earlier this week kind of explaining his actions. But still, I'm like, come on. Like, this was your company. You're joining the people that took your company from you. I don't know if I'll ever understand. It was crazy.
What is it? If you can't beat them, join them? Is that what we're working with now?
That's what it looked like, apparently.
I mean, did he even put up a fight, really? I don't think so. I think he just gave in. I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed in Dylan James. Obviously, the monster in him is stronger than the man in him, right?
It appears.
Obviously, that's the case. I mean, Brooklyn wanted the monster to come out because that's what it was going to take for the pain to stop, for everything that she was doing to Dylan to stop. She wanted Sonny back. And now you have Cruel, a.k.a. Logan Creed, back with Sunny Days, with Crazy Sal, and God forbid, Crazy Carly. I'm sorry, he is. Love him to death, but dude gets crazy in the ring.
Honestly, after this happened, I thought back to what you had said. I thought, well, you kind of called it a couple months ago.
Crazy. And then Joe Black, who's unstoppable.
Yeah.
Now what? Now what? What do we do? I mean, I still have faith in All-Star Special, Gunner, Owen, whatever Gary's got up his sleeve, who else we got back here that we can bring together, rally the troops, for God's sakes. Can we get some people back? Can we get AC back? Oh my God.
Well, I touched on earlier that she made the tag team title match announcement. So it's going to be Happy Madness against All-Star Special. The thing I forgot to tell you was she also announced that Owen will enter the Rumble Jacket number 2 and Gunner will enter the Rumble Jacket and number 1. She's doing everything she can to put roadblock after roadblock in front of those guys to prevent them from getting back to the SHW title.
Right. I think she's afraid that Gunner's going to be the one, finally. That's what he's brought to do.
Well, she's afraid of Gunner and Owen, clearly.
Yeah.
Owen has been such a big threat going back to what he did, last month, interfering in that title match and then coming back and getting his job back by pinning Cruel, such a big moment. What's amazing to me as I thought about this, and some might think this is hyperbole, but I don't think it is. The only moment that I can recall that was as shocking as what happened last Friday was what happened, strangely enough, in July in 1996 when Hulk Hogan becomes the third man and we have the formation of the NWO. I never would have imagined in a million years that Dylan, Sonny, would make a move like this. Like, this is, it's shocking. I mean, he spent almost, the better part of this year in this fight embroiled with Cruel. I mean, like, is it that lonely at the top that you can only trust the monster that's your friend? I mean, I don't know. You know, the other things I don't know is how bad he's been tortured by not having his company. You know, like obviously we have a show once a month, but he's got to live with that every day. You know, he's got to live with the idea that he was kind of creating the magic and now he is under the thumb of somebody else who gets to create the magic. You know, when you lose your baby, you lose the thing that is dearest to you, it takes you to a strange place. I thought that Dylan Sonny was stronger than that, but you know, it's that type of thing. And so it was so much to process in one moment. You know, on one hand, it was, wait, why is Happy Madness doing this? And then it was trying to understand, are they aligning with Contra right now? Are they their own separate entity? Carly joining, I mean, and literally in a 15 to 30-minute span, this thing that was Contra that shocked us just a couple of months ago in its formation has now gotten deeper, wider,
Doubled in size.
Almost tripled in size.
Yeah.
This is, and I mean, again, this tandem of Cruel, Joe Black, Carly Bravo, Happy Madness. This is problematic, folks. I don't know that we have seen a force this talented, this strong, and potentially this deadly in SHW ever.
Yeah.
And this could create a major issue going forward.
Yeah. All I can tell you guys is you've got to show up to the next show because we don't have any idea what's going to happen. We know, all we do know for sure is that it's going to be unpredictable. SHW is always unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to show up, and it's just insane. And what we do know is August 5th is the Rumble Jack. Over the next couple of weeks, we will be talking about that a little more. I'm sure more entrants will be announced. Keep up with our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter as we make announcements throughout the next couple of weeks. In fact, maybe I was talking back to some management earlier that maybe the week leading up to the Rumble Jack, we do kind of a highlight show. Maybe the three of us can kind of talk about some of the highlights and go back and look at some of the big moments from previous Rumble Jacks or something. I think that kind of would be a cool
That's
idea.
Awesome. Yeah.
Going into the big Rumble Jack, the 4th annual. I can't believe it's the 4th annual.
Wow.
It's insane. And of course, we're coming up on the 4th anniversary here before too long. So
Mm-hmm.
we're moving right along in the year. We're already halfway through 2022, which is crazy to me. But what an insane night it was. If you haven't seen it, be sure to check it out on IWTV once it drops. And if you haven't seen it, go on social media. We have posted clips from throughout the night. Some of the clips show what happened at the end. We posted pictures and stuff like that. So see for yourself. You can hear it in our voices if you watch the clips. We are completely shocked, just like everybody else was. And, I mean, it was just one of those nights. I said at the top of the show here tonight, I think this would go down as the single, and there have been a lot of shocking moments in the 3.5 to 4 years that we've been in business. But I think, in my opinion, this is the most shocking thing to ever happen in Southern Honor Wrestling. And I'm still in disbelief. But I have to keep pinching myself throughout the week. Like, wait, did this really happen on Friday?
Yeah, it's like a breakup or a heartbreak.
Yeah, it is.
And you don't want to be mad about it because people do their own thing, but at the same time it hurts and you kind of feel hopeless, but you want to be hopeful and you want to see what's coming next. And I have faith in our general manager, and I know he's got something up his sleeve, or he's working on something. He's not going to probably say anything about it. He's just that kind of guy. He's going to stay quiet. I have faith that something's coming out of it. Gary's going to get something going. Oh, Gary, hopefully I got,
Well, let's hope something happens, because if with Dylan or Sonny turning to the dark side, there's no telling what's next, like I said, and I just don't know. But GB, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Well, one of my final thoughts is I want to give a big shout out to a gentleman named Marcellus,
Thank you.
aka
Ooh.
Impact Visuals,
Yes.
Thank you.
who was the mystery guy who came out with Owen Knight last month, jumped the guardrail, and started capturing footage. Well, he got started
Amazing.
early at SHW41, and he has produced some incredible footage,
Yes.
incredible content, and he even made us look like even cooler than we are.
Man.
So,
Is this possible?
I mean, he's that guy. And so you can certainly follow our social media channels, certainly follow the SHW pod and Sauronaro Wrestling channels, because you can get to see some of his work as
Yeah.
well. He's killing it, and
Great addition. I
seems
hope
like
there
he's a part of the
today.
team, and
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Definitely here for it.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the production team and everybody else.
Absolutely.
behind
Best
the
production
scenes.
team ever.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
everybody behind the scenes. And so that's the thing. We're such a tight-knit family, and behind the scenes, everything. That's why I'm nervous about what in the world's happening with this Contra takeover. And none of us really know what to expect or know what to think of it. So we're just we're nervous. This whole past month, we've been kind of walking on eggshells. And that's why, I'll be honest, that's why I get to the point where I start spouting off in the mouth, because I'm so frustrated.
Yeah, so you're not walking too softly on them
And here's the
eggshells, there,
thing.
B.
And here's the thing.
Isn't.
No.
I've been putting my foot in my mouth the last 2 months, and if I'm not here next week, then it's up to you guys to run this show and keep it going.
Oh, boy.
Hopefully, I'll be here with you.
Oh,
We'll
boy.
see, because I know certain people are watching, but it is what it is at this point. I'm just so fed up with all the chaos. It's like, come on, really? Let's just get back to good old Southern
Wrestling.
Anyway,
Wrestling. Yes.
I'm getting fired up. We need to wrap things up. I don't want to go off the rails here at the end, but
I don't know. Don't pop a blood vessel in your face.
I'll try not to. Anyways, we will I know y'all will. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week as well. But we hope to be back with more of the SHW podcast next Friday. But until then, this has been
SHW.
This is our wrestler.